is very underrated, and there needs to be more conversation around this. And I'm going to say every agent should be thinking, if you really want to grow, if you want to just sell a bunch of houses, that's cool. If you really want to build a business, that's something entirely different, right? And I think as time progresses, that the quote unquote real estate agent role may change a little bit, and they have to be more of a real estate consultant or a consultant in general to help people through other decisions or through the path of other decisions. Maybe it's insurance, maybe it's something to do with finance. Well, hello everybody. We are starting right on time. I'm going to figure out how to see if I can get this to stream to Facebook in a minute, but I wanted to welcome everybody to this edition. It's going to be an excellent edition because we're going to be talking to people that are really doing it, right? No hypothetical, people that started in the business 10 years ago or so and have built a team and do real business and understands technology, systems, referral, network, and sphere of influence. And everything that we're going to be talking about in this podcast is going to help you in your business in 2023 and beyond. So without any further ado, I want to welcome a couple of friends of mine, Jeff Mateja, founder, Rainmaker, CEO of the Mateja Group, and his sidekick, the director of growth, or what I would just simply say, the COO of the group and the ancillary businesses, Harrison Smith. Welcome, gents.
Thanks, Johnny Mo.
Glad to be here.
So tell us a little bit about, Jeff, tell us a little bit about you and when you got started in this business and, quickly kind of how we got to the point that you are now.
Yeah, so I started 17, 18 years ago with as a solo agent part-time. That's morphed into going full-time, and crazy as it is, it was 2008, 2009 when we saw the market really shift, and a lot of distressed properties, foreclosures, and so I cut my teeth with a lot of investors and had to grind and work it out. It was tough, pushing along, but I began by networking with my Business Network International, BNI, a number of after-hours events. And then that just grew into, I was generating so many leads that I needed to leverage that off to make sure that I had the coverage so that I didn't have to work nights and weekends, and built my team. Really got it going around 2011. So about 10, 11 years ago, that grew into and just followed the Millionaire Real Estate Agent model, MREA, written by Gary Keller, and built the team based on, level 1 to, I think we'd say we're level 5, level 6 now. And then those ancillary businesses, I'm still producing, just not as much. So we're not 7th level.
Understood. And some of your business, I forget the number that you had told me or the numbers that you had said to the team the other day. What are you guys going to end up 2022 at? How many transactions and closings, and how many in dollar volume?
Yeah, right around 328 closings for just under 120 million. The year before was 398 transactions for 135. So down a little bit in units, but not down as much in volume because we continue to raise that average sales price, more so based on the seasoned agents, the newer agents build that confidence and start to close bigger transactions. And, we're in an area where it's a big second home market. So we're also gravitating away from the first time home buyer. And we would still love those first time home buyers, but with volume comes newer move up buyers, folks that are buying 2, 3, 4 homes with us. As a result of that referral relationship that I know we'll talk about in a bit, is the repeat customer that comes back to us.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you started the team and the team started to grow, and then Harrison got involved, well, I'll let you answer it, but then we'll jump into having him explain a little bit about what he does for the team. But how important is delegation? Because realistically, you had to master delegation, not abdication, but delegation, and trust other people to run with the processes. How instrumental was it to bring in somebody that you could allow to run the operations?
Extremely instrumental. I needed to be in the day-to-day world of showing agents how to do what they needed to do. So there was a lot of I do it, we do it, they do it. And as that progressed, I needed to have agents know that I wasn't competing against them. They were, side by side. We were in business together. They didn't work for me; they worked with me alongside. And then when we introduced Harrison, we had an excellent director of operations prior that also said, "Right, let us get you in the trenches with the clients and develop leads and relationships. And on the back end, we'll do all of the busy stuff. We'll keep you going." And so where it really progressed was that I was allowed to sit down and enable agents to watch how I did it. Then I would watch them do it together with me, and then they went and did it on their own. And as long as that conversion rate was there, I was very comfortable giving them the leads. Actually, we had a number of agents that then ended up converting better than I did or at the same level, so that I just stepped away. And of the 330 transactions this year, I'll really, be 100% involved in 25 of them.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the agents were really running with us on their own.
Yeah. So you were doing the work that the majority of agents do, which is with the customer, right? And it's always the back end stuff where the unsung heroes are, because it's not their name up in lights and anything, but they're usually often the fabric that keeps the cogs moving and everything else like that, which allows everybody to do their job and to be with more clients. So you can do more things that you're doing, with the leadership, the innovation, the inspiration. And so Harrison, more or less, is the operations manager, right? The director of growth and growing the team. So Harrison, explain a little bit on what your role is in the team. We know Jeff's the rainmaker and, meets with the clients and things like that, meets with the agents. You do as well, but explain to everybody a little bit about what your role is.
Yeah. So I refer to myself oftentimes as more like the chief opportunity officer. So I'm trying to listen to what the agents are asking for, listen to what the clients are asking for. What do we need more of? What do we need less of? What do they really want? And I'm trying to put that together. My background is I've been licensed for a little over 5 years, but I'm not an agent, and I'm not a very good agent. I don't want to be a very good agent. I've got a license. I work with commercial and investor type clients. That's my wheelhouse. I came from commercial development. Jeff and I met way back when in corporate finance. I stayed the corporate finance track for a little longer. He jumped out. So I'm a business guy. That's what I do. I'm not an agent. So I tend to work on the bigger stuff, but then I focus on, what are those needs? How do we address them? And from there, it's come, additional agents, new systems, ancillary businesses to create more opportunities to solve other clients' issues, and just trying to continue to build around the core of what we have to make it better, to offer more opportunity to those people that are in our world, in the hopes that as they grow in our world, they don't grow out of it. They just grow into other parts of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's absolutely awesome. And you just hit on something that I think is very underrated, and there needs to be more conversation around this. And I'm going to say every agent should be thinking, if you really want to grow, if you want to just sell a bunch of houses, that's cool. If you really want to build a business, that's something entirely different, right? And I think as time progresses, that the quote unquote real estate agent role may change a little bit, and they have to be more of a real estate consultant or a consultant in general to help people through other decisions or through the path of other decisions. Maybe it's insurance, maybe it's something to do with finance. Let's talk about ancillary businesses. What other ancillary businesses do you have that supports the real estate venture?
Sure. So we currently have really good partners for some of the core things like mortgage, but then we also have insurance. We have a property management company because we had clients that just couldn't find somebody to manage their property, so that picked up. We found a great operating partner for that, and we've got a property management company that has a little over 70 doors, all organic growth. Also 7 or 8 seasonal rentals because of course we're on the coast of Maine, so that's a big piece. And then we're doing some training, consulting events, and then partnership. We do have expansion locations, and we're continuing to take what we do into other markets. And that was really because we had good people that we were surrounded by that had interest in other things and clients that had a similar need, and we put the two together. And I come from the distribution world where we always learn this concept of the share of customer. The more things you do for the customer, the more valuable you are for them. Mm-hmm. So in the distribution world, you would actually bring products into the stores that you made no money on, but it made that retailer happy. So they gave you preferential treatment. And for us, it's really understanding what our client base needs and figuring out a client base, both from the real estate clients, but also the agent client, and then trying to play matchmaker to bring those opportunities forward to them.
Mm-hmm. My friend Saul Klein would call that ARPU, average revenue per unit.
Yep.
Right. Once you sell them a home,
yep,
they're done for a while unless you get a referral. But if you have these ancillary services, then you can increase your average revenue per unit. Now we're going to jump into some fun stuff. Jeff, somebody had commented, Ben had commented, Buddy the Elf is talking.
That's right.
Explain what to everybody. So I know what you've done, but I don't want to spoil the surprise.
Right.
Let everybody know what you've just done for the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, so we did the 13 days of giving through the Mateja Group, Keller Williams Realty. We had seen, I think this is the third year I've done it, but I did this prior to dressing up as an elf. I went to area businesses and asked, hey, how can I showcase you during the holidays? Some of these businesses, it's 80% of their revenue for the year. Other businesses, like this is how they hang on to make it into next year. So we said, right, small businesses. I'm a very, very strong believer in small, buy local, participate a lot in Small Business Saturday, et cetera. So we had this concept, and, not that it's been utilized before, but I took it to an extreme level of dressing up as an elf and going into different area businesses. Prior to some of them, we try to get the shock and awe of, they have no idea I'm coming. Others, we just make sure, hey, can we, video inside your establishment? And then we ask if they wouldn't mind donating something. So in return for us promoting them and the elf being present. So I've taken over coffee shops, been at the register, at the drive-through, bought everybody for an hour, everybody that came in, coffee, all beverages were on us, and handed out candy canes. We've gone to different local stores and put $20 bills in a holiday card inside diapers, bread, commonly used item, cereals, et cetera, so that we know it was going to, not have much of a shelf life, it would be gone, and had, folks inside Home Goods gone and bought their supplies, Goodwill, and, shared some tears, shared some laughs with some folks. And then, again, promoted businesses from just silly stuff of, oil changes, goofing around at, automotive parts stores. And, it breaks the ice, but also laughs, it's memorable, and we have fun with it while giving back to our community.
And it creates heck of content. I'm going to try to share my screen right now if I don't break it, right? But let me see. Can you all see this? Let me see.
Oh yeah, the vintage toy store.
Yeah. So let's see. So here's the toy store, right? Here's the hopefully this is being shown.
Coffee shop.
The coffee shop. I was at that one. That was fun. And it just creates all this fun content, right? Yeah. But the more important thing is a couple of things. It gets attention because you're being unique. You're being different, right? You're out there doing something fun, something funny, but you're bringing awareness to the businesses in the community. And it's a perfect way for you to give back to those businesses that or that's in your sphere of influence or whatnot. And the grand prize of this whole thing, where was it? Right here, right? Yeah. A $500 gift card to Sunday River, which is an awesome ski resort up here in Maine. Let's just talk about that real quick. Harrison, if you want to grab this one, how important to the overall operations and how much energy time do y'all put into ensuring referrals are an important part of the business?
Yeah, and we have systems built around how we intake referrals, how we give referrals out, how we follow up with referrals, how we thank referral partners. And a big part of what ELF is more importantly is that, we're, as Jeff mentioned, we're all community people. We live here, we transact here, we do business with small businesses. We're big supporters of our local communities. Jeff's very involved in his, I'm in mine. Whether we're coaching something or we're shopping locally or, these sorts of events, just continuing to get out there because we're not afraid to go meet people. And the nice thing is too, when we're doing this, there's no friction. Hey, can I feature your business? Hey, can I buy people coffee? There's no business that's going to say, well, geez, no, I don't want that. I don't want you to buy people coffee. I don't want you, to feature my business in front of your thousands of social media followers. So it's a really frictionless way to get out there, build the name. And then from there, we have systems in place where like for the Sunday River, we got calls coming in, texts coming in, and it's all getting logged and recorded. And, we've got follow-up plans for those people. So we don't, there's no referral left behind. There's no contact left behind. When we meet these people, we bring them into our world, and then they just become part of what we do. And we're not thinking about it every time of, oh, did we do that? Oh, did we do that? It's happening. It's just naturally happening. The progression is built into what we do.
Yeah, absolutely. Jeff and I, we were up in Freeport, Maine, where they have LL Bean's headquarters. So we thumbed around in there for a little bit, but then we went over to Maine Whoopie Pies, right? And
yeah, Wicked Whoopies.
Wicked Whoopies, yeah. And you're saying that you send those out. You've sent those out to people that have sent referrals and things like that. That to me is such a beautiful thing, because it's a way, A, we need to thank the people that give us referrals, but B, you're still supporting a small business, local small business, right? Iconic local small business. Jeff, your wife owns a business in town too. Scarborough is the town that you live in. Yeah. How important, and you mentioned BNI earlier, you started with BNI and things like that, which I'm a big believer in these organizations. How important has networking played for your business, or have you seen any overflow of that into your wife's business? The, what is that, medical aesthetics business?
Yeah, it's a medical spa called Atlantic Aesthetics here in Scarborough, Maine. Networking and just, business to business has been a huge component of my business from the early days. I mean, that's how I got off the ground was, and flew from the corporate role, was knowing that I had the support of other area businesses because I was supporting them first. And I think it was Michael Mayer and the 7 levels of communication, and various other folks have utilized this prior to and after as the memory jogger. And to, start to think of, well, where do you, have your car worked on? Where do you get your haircut? Where do you, and this is where that concept came from, is I started from day one is, well, where do I already support? I'm going to continue to support them, and just don't be bashful in reminding them what you do for them. And is it possible that they could return the favor? I probably don't ask as much anymore. It's more, I just do it. And as a result, what I put into the universe comes back in return. But there's countless businesses that I've supported that, might not have been able to return the favor. And I'm quite all right with that. As long as I continue to support their businesses, it's just the good deeds that, will come back in return. I have, folks that have called. I actually just had a listing appointment the other day from a young lady who is connected to, we both had our car worked on at the same place. We both stayed in touch with this individual more than 10 years who came back and said, hey, I've got someone that has some real estate needs. Can you help her out? And sure enough, the appointment was set, and we're in business together because of the relationship that, 10, 12 years ago. Countless other examples of that, where walking into a store or where I've got my haircut, stay in touch with that person. And then another person that's sitting in that, chair at the barbershop mentioned something, and that person's ears perk up and they say, it sounds like you need to meet my friend Jeff, and his business cards are actually over on the counter over there. Perhaps you've seen him as the elf, and it just goes from there. It's breaking the ice. It's that stronger referral when someone's already done business with you or has that relationship level, that then there's that trust. They remember you, and it's much easier to get in and have that testimonial from someone else. Breaks down that barrier.
So basically, relationships are key. Your sphere of influence is key.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We've referred to it before as the data bank. Having, the person who has the strong, the larger database, yet still has strong relationships, the stronger relationships with their database is the one that prevails. And we have countless examples from even growing our team. We've had folks that have done fantastic on the team and have, grown to want to start their own team and left our team or even the brokerage altogether, and, make a few phone calls, go meet with some folks, let them, become aware of the situation. And then they've said, well, here, you might want to reach out to so-and-so, and just about everybody on the team currently, someone prior to them coming to the team knew them in some capacity, whether they worked with them before. We have past clients who have become agents on our team. Harrison is a past client of mine, as well as a previous coworker at another corporation. And it's just about staying in touch. So we always say, dig your well before you're thirsty. It's also a title of a book. Excellent read if you have a chance, is just, again, get into a relationship and know that, right, they may not need to buy, sell, or invest in real estate. A lot of sales trainings teach you that, right? Who needs to buy, sell, or invest in real estate? Well, could that person also help you buy, sell, or invest in real estate at a later date, or just know of people that could answer questions, be a vendor in the future, what have you. There's many different avenues that you just don't know. Stay in touch, and that person that might know a lot of people might not be in a financial situation right now, but they could grow into a different one or connect you with someone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everybody's open.
That's what I've always looked at. What we need to be is the connector, right? How do we connect people to people, right?
Yep.
Where do I point you in the right direction? And hopefully that relationship is reciprocal. And that is ultimately the goal, is to be that community connector and be able to give that. And I think personally, I'm going to be biased, that video and social and digital plays, quite frankly, a pivotal role. I'm not saying the most important, but a crucial role in being able to reach masses of amounts of people, build the parasocial relationship, be seen and top of mind with your sphere of influence and such like that. However, I do believe that there's a lot of non-sensual content being created out there, and it might not be reading the right message. You guys are in the process of building out a studio. How important do you think it is? And talk to the studio a little bit. What's the purpose of that studio going to be? Who's going to get to use it? And how important do you guys consider video and social media?
Yeah, it's huge. The intent of the studio was, we had a need. Obviously we're doing a lot more video. We're also working with Explore My Town to kind of boost our community and business to business type video content. Beyond just ELF, now we're going to do stuff all year round. But the intent of the studio was that we had a need for ourselves. And we also see there being a need kind of around the area. So, you see it more than anybody, Johnny Mo. A lot of agents want to do video, but they don't know what camera they should use or what microphone they need or how lighting should work or where they're going to record it. So we looked at it as we need it for ourselves. Our ancillary businesses could benefit from it, as well as all the referral partners and people that are, kind of in our world. So the intent of the studio, it serves our purposes, but we're also going to be opening it up to the people around us that we have worked with, that we have relationships with, and make it available to them. They can come in, they can use our studio space, use our microphones, use our cameras, use our lighting equipment, and knock out their own videos. Because ultimately, for those people we work with, we work closely with, we have relationships with, we want to see them do well also. And some of them are agents, and we hope that they do well as well. There's plenty of business out there, and there's no need to worry about somebody coming in and kind of stepping on us. So we want to be able to, be that connector. And one of the things inside of our team, we actually have our new agents read is that 7 levels of communication, that super connector concept. And we're doing that for clients. We're also doing it business to business with vendors, partners, and other agents. So just trying to fill that need and build some goodwill. And hopefully when the time comes, if somebody's thinking about making a move or changing things, they think of us. And we're constantly outbound to our database, checking in, seeing what they need. And that includes all the various businesses and partners we work with.
Yeah, absolutely. And what you guys are doing with what you just said is absolutely powerful, because it comes down to what Gary Vee says. It comes down to how much value you can bring to the audience, right? And not just the audience as in the people that are viewing you, but your audience, your sphere, the people around you. Oftentimes I think we get carried away with what can you do for me, where right. If we flip the script and say, what can I do for you, that opens up an infinite amount of business. Now we got about 7-8 minutes. I don't care if we go over a little bit, but we got about 7-8 minutes to really hit some good meat. And I want to talk to you about something that I'm passionate about. Y'all believe in charity and giving back. These are all things. This is why we align so well. Y'all are doing the same things that I'm passionate about. What about charity? What are you guys doing for charity? You can share numbers if you want or don't. That's up to you. But what are you doing around the charitable aspect?
Yeah, through Mateja Gives, we started an initiative a long time ago. We just didn't really put a name on it, where we gave back to Keller Cares, KW Cares as it's known through corporate, and then decided, right, we need to work on stuff closer to home, which, you know, the Market Center does, Greater Portland Friends and Family. And we have, if an agent has a medical bill or needs to pay for heating oil and is down on their, have some troubles, they can, fill out an application to be considered for a grant, and they don't have to pay that back. And so we started that and had, excellent success. And then also said, right, we have folks that approach us all the time saying, could you sponsor our child's sports team or, music? And I said, that's great. If I do that though, for one, I've got to do that for, I've got, agents on our team where we live in, 10, 12 different communities or more than that. And it just gets to be daunting and it can be a lot. So we approach it as, well, what passion does each agent on our team have? What is there a nonprofit 501c3 was the requirement, and preferably local, that we could give back and have also the results of our clients. So it's our money, yet it's the result of our clients who then share in, the sale of a property then creates a commission, right? So we want to show that, right, you have the opportunity to help us help numerous members of the communities that we all live in, and something that our agents are passionate about. So we would pick a 501c3 each month that when we would announce, give them credit, get them some notoriety, more exposure through our social media, through our newsletter, et cetera. So our sphere of influence was seeing 2 to 4 touches, depending on their involvement on, Constant Contact to Instagram, Facebook, et cetera, YouTube. And then when a property would close, $100 per transaction would be gathered into this pot for distribution at the end of the month or the beginning of the first. And then it showcased our agent. So I put the spotlight on the agent who was passionate about, as an example, Youthful Maine. So an entity that helps with, foster families and children specifically, so the future of our world, and give back to and showcase them. Another one was the Animal Refuge League. So a entity that's there's a hurricane in Florida and a lot of animals are displaced. They're shipping them to Maine, getting them their medications, making sure that they're healthy, and then putting them up for adoption and getting them in with families here locally. So we see a lot. It was actually a partnership with the company that Harrison and I used to work with, was very close with the Animal Refuge League. So that was one that we were passionate about as well. And we just felt, right, we have an opportunity to give and give back. And we wanted to see that stay locally so that it furthered our communities. Mm-hmm. And, continuing to take in applications and examples of and suggestions on, who we can help next. We were trying to help out, the little guy and the folks that didn't have the notoriety as much. And it's grown to be, I think we've given away over $36,000 year to date.
Oh, that's excellent. All right. To me, people always ask, what is your definition of success? That part of it right there, that's success. When we can help other people, other organizations, to me, that is right there amongst the lines of what success really is. Everything else is just the process. That's the path, right? Mm-hmm. That right there is selflessness. And I think selflessness, philanthropy, that kind of thing is success. Now, let's start to close it out. You guys also, you have the real estate team. You guys sell 325 homes per year. But you also have expansion teams. You also have the ancillary businesses. Talk a little bit about the expansion and the training offerings or the conferences, those kind of things, the CTC stuff, if you'd like.
Yeah, so we've had a lot of people over the years reach out to us with questions. They want to come shadow. They want to understand, kind of what we've done, similar to an event just like this, where it's, people have an interest in learning, what some other teams that are at a spot they might want to be at have done. So we saw that as there's an industry need. We know that you take this test, you get this license, and you have no idea how to be an agent. They give you some vocabulary and some terminology and send you on your way. So we went really deep, probably 2 or 3 years ago, developing all of our own internal training. We've got a whole new agent training program. So if somebody comes on, we take them through a 12-week onboarding program. Literally, we go into the details of, what is a database, to how do you fill out the forms, to how do you comp property? Like it's real estate 101. And then from there, we do our own coaching and accountability inside. We have a wealth mastermind. We talk about building wealth. We have an investment company that runs alongside of all this. We buy properties with our agents in. So, trying to create those opportunities, but also create the opportunity for education. And from that, we've had a lot of people from the outside asking similar questions. So we started to go down the road of, training and consulting. And from there, we've met really good people that maybe want to build a team and don't know how. So what we can bring is kind of what I call the business in a box. We can bring all the systems and tools and things that we do. We can bring them to you in another market, help you implement them, and let you run with it. So it's your team. We're backing it. We are providing all of the tools and resources you need to get going. Because we all know starting a team, and Jeff lived through it by yourself, it's hard because you're trying to be a producing agent, protect your income while spending time, you're working in the business and trying to work on the business. It's hard to do both. Mm-hmm. So we can help them with the kind of the working on the business piece to get them up and running faster. And then if that's not a path they want to head down, then we offer, courses, live events, various trainings and things just like this to help continue to hopefully share and help those agents around us. Because ultimately, if we all get better, the industry gets better, and we all do better because of it, because the consumer sees the value in what we do, because we're delivering a better experience.
Yeah, and I heard at the live events you have a pretty awesome speaker. I just heard this through the grapevine.
Yeah, he was okay.
And it's brand agnostic, right? The stuff that you do, it doesn't matter who you're with.
Doesn't matter. We had 150 people or so at our event in October. We had real estate agents from 6 or 7 different brokerages. We had title reps. We had lenders from a bunch of different places. We had investors from a bunch of different places. People from all over New England. We are Keller Williams, but it doesn't mean we won't talk to people from Coldwell Banker, Remax, EXP, Real. Doesn't matter where you're from. Ultimately, we're all doing the same thing, just flying a different logo.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And Jared's asking a question. So, we'll jump into a little Q&A, and then we're going to end it with, and you guys can think about this one. I'm going to ask each of you for something that somebody can do right now, a piece of advice somebody can do right now to help their business grow or retain agents or grow agents. But Jared's question is, which is always a salty subject. Because you'll never retain 100%. That's just the way that it is. But he asks, how are you retaining great agents?
Right. Yeah. So we offer opportunities in businesses, some of the ancillaries, as well as investment properties. We have an investment arm to our team where we're out scouting for, cash opportunities to purchase properties, lending money. So we have a capital investment piece to our firm, and we've partnered with at least 4 or 5 agents in flips, holds for Airbnb short-term rentals, as well as the property management entity Guardian Properties. So one of our agents is spearheading that and is the kind of the managing partner with us, but is also a partner with Harrison and myself in the property management. They run the day-to-day and have a equity interest. So we have even on our ops side, we developed white cap solutions where we offer transaction management to, help with video, help with website development, help with operations. All of the systems and tools that we utilize, you can look behind the curtain and get someone to coach you on them, train you on them, and see how we did that. So that and it's a la carte too. So there's a pick and play, pay to play portions of that. That's also helped retain our operations side that said, well, okay, we can keep working here and perform the operations for the Mateja Group and our ancillaries and our expansion. Where do we go from here? I mean, right, you can continue to do more transactions. So what if we were to spread our wings and offer this to other folks? Is there an entity, an example here is how we can grow, and this offers another financial aspect that they can, grow beyond the salary that is given here.
So treating them like true partners, where they have opportunities other than just selling more homes.
Yep.
Right.
Absolutely. And a few others, right? And some of these have come up as the result of agents or our operations approaching us about, hey, have you looked into this? And so we've looked at purchasing cleaning companies to, Airbnb operations. That's how we got into property management organically. We haven't really spent any money on advertising. It was word of mouth, and then going to our clients, sending out newsletters, and growing through just word of mouth through agent to agent, agent to client, client tells other folks, and kind of that grassroots building through referrals. as well as, just other opportunities through, doing people's contract to close, help them set up a website, start on video, Instagram, and, Harrison can tell you more.
Yeah. And even just, get down to operations consulting. Like I've hired 2 staff. What do I do with them? We get that a lot. We've the nice thing is, and Jeff will attest to this, we've made tons of mistakes. Thankfully we've learned from them all and gotten better because of it. But what we allow people to do is skip the mistakes and hopefully learn, get the Cliff's notes of how we got to where we got to. But to go back to the original question of retention, as Johnny Mo said, you don't keep 100%. You can keep something closer to that. But you've got to get to know the person. I think we oftentimes just assume, well, if we generate more leads and get them more appointments and get them more closings and help them make more money, that'll make them happier. What you often find is that there's a cap or a ceiling to where that agent wants to go transactionally, but they have other interests. So what is the whole person looking for? And finding out if you've got an opportunity to fill that void. If not, do you have the ability to go find a solution for them, whether it's build something, buy something, joint venture on something? You've got opportunities there to try to find whatever they might be looking for, but it's important to understand the whole person and not just the agent side of their life.
Yeah. And that's something we were talking about a little bit before we got live. Just you and I, Jeff was getting on, and it's like, so I'm like, what does the rest of the year look like? And it's like meeting with agents, figuring out what they want. Right. So I think that's really important. And I think it was Simon Sinek that said, train them so well that they can leave and go anywhere, but treat them so well that they don't. Right.
Yep.
And I do believe in that too. I think the old methodology was to try to retain people as much as you can out of fear or brute force or whatever like that. And in this day and age, and I said it earlier, we need to figure out how do we make it more bountiful. And you guys are doing a great job with that. Somebody did ask, I would love to get your training. How can I get that? How do they get that?
Yeah, if you want to go to evolutionctc.com, so it's evolutioncoachingtrainingconsulting.com. You can get in touch with us there. You can see some of the stuff that we offer right on the website. But feel free to reach out, get in touch. We'd love to talk to you, find out what you're looking for, and see what we can do for you.
All right. Now, Harrison, one piece of advice for an agent right now that can help them in any way possible, any way that you want to go down, whether it's more sales, whether it's recruiting, whether it's retaining, anything like that. One piece of advice you can give to somebody.
So the one piece of advice I would give is to continually put yourself out there. A lot of the agents I'm talking to right now are thinking about what's next for them, how to grow their business. And what I find for most of them is that they are the prototypical secret agent. They're doing 5 or 6, 7, 8 deals a year. They're doing just well enough to stay in the business, but not well enough to really enjoy true success. And what I find is because they're just not telling people what they're doing or telling people how they do it. And you can do that through, networking. You can do it through, video, social media content. But be comfortable putting yourself out there and meeting people. And I've always been a networker. I'm not a cold call kind of person. I like to go meet people face to face. I love to go to events. And the trick I have with events is that I don't try to meet everybody. I try to find the 2 or 3 people that seem to know everybody in the room, and I go meet them because they'll then create the introductions to everybody else for me. So I don't have to go find every single person by myself.
Yeah, I'm that way too, right? I watch Jeff operate and talking to everybody. I'm like, oh boy, that's a lot of energy, right? Let my introvert self get back home quickly. But I'm the same way. I go find the 2 or 3 or 4 people. I go with intention,
Yep.
which is vital. Jeff, how about you? What's a piece of advice you can give to somebody on any genre that you want?
Sure. Just a couple things. So, I think the first is avoid the noise. I think there's a lot of folks that are, negative on the market, negative on, what you can and can't do to be successful. Find your way and then just keep going. I see a lot of folks that just kind of think, well, we got to do it this way, or we've got to emulate this person and do it that. Well, find your way. Success leaves clues. It's out there. You can sell 100 homes doing a million different things. Go out there and do it. And then avoid the noise of like, there'll be people that's like, oh, why are they, that's kind of silly. Who the hell would dress up like an elf? Just do it. And that's your thing. Keep it your thing. Don't worry about it. We go to public school and they try to all get us into like being all similar. It's like stand out from the crowd and be yourself. Cause there's only one of you.
Authentic. Be authentic. Yeah. Yep. That's absolutely great advice. All right, everybody. Listen, if you want to find a little bit more about them, what's your main website too for the real estate team?
JeffSellsMaine.com.
jeffsellsmaine.com and evolutionctc.com if you want to learn more about their training, their expansion products, and everything else like that. This is great stuff. Feel free to reach out to me. Feel free to engage in the community leaders group. We're going to post this there as well, and ask questions. Ask away. That we'll tag them and get them in there to answer them. But everybody, thank you for watching. Just go be yourself. Focus on bringing value to the people around you, your sphere of influence, your community. Build relationships, but beyond all, be authentic. Thank you all for being here.
Thanks.
Thank you.